Young people, I know how deadly my culture is. I know what it's done to my own people. I've seen the West go into Eastern Europe and destroy churches. You are in a very deadly place. You live in a land full of all kinds of things that glitter, but they're not gold. You live in a land full of all kinds of promises that are lies. You live in a land that will do everything in its power to turn you away from Christ. But you live in a land that tells you you can have God and the world too. You live in a land that tells you you can love the world and love Christ, and I want you to know it is a lie. It is a lie. Do not think I'm trying to be angry. Do not think I'm trying to have a mean spirit. I am saying this to save you from the monster that has killed more people than any political tyrant that has ever ruled this land and this planet. If you love the world, be afraid. Because that could just be an evidence God has never worked in you. You have never believed unto salvation. You have never truly been converted. Because if He truly saves you, He who began a good work in you will finish it. And why do we know that? This is a very important truth. Because His reputation is on the line. Remember, God saves people to demonstrate how powerful He is. And so if He begins a work in you, He will finish it to demonstrate His power. Let me give you an illustration. When Israel was coming out of Egypt, they committed many sins against God, and God tested Moses. He said this, "Moses, get out of the way. I'm going to destroy this people, and I will make a people out of you." And this is Moses' intercession. He said this, "No, Lord, if you destroy this people, then your enemies will say that although you were strong enough, powerful enough to bring them out of the land of Egypt, you were not powerful enough to bring them into the land you promised them." You see what Moses is doing? He's concerned about God's reputation. I'm concerned about God's reputation here today. I want you to know that if God has brought you from the condemnation of sin, if He has truly saved you, if He has truly justified you, then the evidence of that is He will continue working in you to transform you. Why? Because every Christian is a demonstration of God's power. He is going to finish the work He has begun because His reputation depends upon it. That's why Paul warned in the book of Romans. He said that the name of God was blasphemed among the Gentiles because of the Jews who identified themselves with God and yet did not live according to God's commands. In the same way, many nations of this world mock this nation that we are in at this moment, the United States of America. And one of the reasons why they mock it is because they say, America claims to be a Christian nation, and yet almost every abomination that contaminates the world comes out of the United States. Every moral filth almost has its beginning here. So you see, the name of God is blasphemed among the nations because so many people in America believe themselves Christians when they live like devils. But that in itself is evidence that they have not come to know God. But you see, we're not talking, though, about a multitude of people. We're talking about you. Can you say, can you prove that since the moment of your conversion, there is evidence that God is working in your life to make you holy? Can you see that? Can you tell me that you are truly a Christian because when you look at the world and it maybe deceives you and draws you to it, that God comes and disciplines you? That when you participate in sin, you can't stand it because the Holy Spirit is so convicting you? Or can you simply call yourself Christian and yet look like the world, act like the world, talk like the world, dress like the world, do everything the world does?